Hi, it's Bakar. I'm an amoeba doing What's in Your Bag. I found so much good stuff. My mum is a humongous R&B lady. It was records like Tony Braxton, Unbreak My Heart.
Unbreak my heart, my heart.
I remember just hearing like Tony Braxton's like deep tone, and I always remembered it. And my mum and dad actually, like their like wedding video was like the soundtrack to it was Unbreak My Heart. So that's why I picked Tony Braxton, because I love Tony Braxton. Aaliyah was just always in our house, especially this record, like We Need a Revolution. I just remember that beat so clearly.
I wanna know what was in your head. Oh, what was in my head? Am I supposed to change? Am I supposed to change?
And I think the common theme between even this like Mary J. Blige record, No More Drama, and the SWV stuff, it's just like powerful black women. Mm-hmm. I don't know whether it was knowingly my mum was doing that, but I was always surrounded by, like, my mum has 8 sisters. So like maybe that was like almost like a representation of that, you know what I mean? But it was always like strong, like powerful black women talking about being independent and, you know, all these kind of things. So this fits into that mode, of course.
You're giving me the sweetest taboo, too good for me.
Like Sweetest Taboo, I remember like I would go back home to Tanzania and Sweetest Taboo was like a big song at that moment. And like everyone was listening to Sweetest Taboo. Love Sade. In that same vein, Miss Dynamite, amazing.
I'm just a Dynamite TV. Everybody lose control. Let my vibe touch your soul.
Even when I listen to Miss Dynamite, like now, like I think it was on a FIFA, like I can't remember what FIFA it was, but me and my cousins, we would just play those games non-stop. So, and just a UK legend, like, and even the sound, like when you listen to Miss Dynamite, like the sound of that song.
I just wanted to learn, I never been so content.
Just a cool cadence, a cool woman, big UK history, like Miss Dynamite. Yeah. I want to talk about this Mount Kimby record. This record is one of my favorite records of all time. It's like, from start to finish, it's just perfect to me. Like, it's like one of the first records that like, this and like Burial, they like really introduced me to like textures in music. Like, especially in electronic music. You know, we went through like, it was like drum and bass, then we went to dubstep. And then there was like, post like the really obvious dubstep sound, there was like this future dubstep thing that was happening in London. And I feel like Mount Kimby basically epitomized that. And I think this record is that, literally. And I think it's shot in Dalston, I'm not sure, but Crooks and Lovers, like perfect. Carbonated is, the song Carbonated is like the one that everyone knows, but like every song, like Tunnel Vision, like all of these songs are so well put together. I want to kind of keep it still kind of UK-y, but I know there's a Streets record in here, I can't find it, but in the same vein, Subtract, legend. I don't have to say too much about Subtract. But I've actually had the pleasure of working with Subtract and just started a whole wave. I think this is really what introduced the more UK like electronic sound to the rest of the world, you know, because Wildfire just went crazy. No pun intended, it caught fire like in a big way.
What was it like working with him?
Working with Subtract was a dream because like I listened to him growing up, so it was a cool experience. I learned a lot and we still talk to this day. So yeah, big up Subtract. Block Party, Silent Alarm. You know, like I'm like an inner city kid, more of a hip hop grime kid, R&B, etc. And so like Block Party was one of the first bands that like helped me transition into listening to like, I don't know, guitar music, I guess. I don't know how to, like indie music, guitar music, I don't know how you'd explain it, and this record was like that transition. So there was like a bunch of bands that helped me get into that kind of more side of music. But this one was like rocked my whole shit. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear, but this record blew my mind. When I heard this, my brain just went, because like the sound was like this math rocky, computer rock thing that sounded like it could be made on a computer, but it was being played by a band. And I saw it live. I remember finishing my exams and going to Reading Festival and seeing that album live, and then that even just took it to another level, and I was obsessed. And the cover is even cooler. And I didn't know that it came out on Sub Pop in America.
What are they on in the UK?
Transgressive. Yeah, wicked album. Again, like, this is up there with like Crooks and Lovers of how important it is to me. Around the same time, like all my older cousins were like all hip hop people, all rap heads, but it was more like, you know, Diplomats and G-Unit, and you know what I'm saying, it's like more stereotypical rap. And one of my best friends, his older brother, cut a CD. There was probably like 25 songs on the CD, and about 15 of them were Quasimoto, The Unseen. This took me into a whole nother side of hip hop that I didn't know existed. You know, it wasn't even like, it wasn't a Jay Dilla thing or nothing like that. It was straight like I heard Quasimoto, and then the whole thing happened. Then like we went down the rabbit hole of like, okay, Donuts, Jay Dilla, etc., etc. But Quasimoto was definitely the thing that, like, for me anyway, that opened my eyes up. So yeah, man, Madlib's a huge hero for me.
Crime. Everything's gonna be cool for you. Dreams. Is he still around? Money.
This was the gateway drug to things like this. Things like Slum. I mean, at this point, it's like anything, we're just looking for anything that Jay Dilla's producing. Once I realized that, oh wow, like this man also, again, circling back to like the more R&B stuff, songs like Climax, it's an R&B song, you know, Fall in Love. So it's like, it was him doing that, and that made even a lot more sense to me. So big up Jay Dilla, big up Slum Village. The Planet Sauvage, which is, if you know Madlib and you're a big Madlib fan, you know that a lot of the things that he sampled came from this.
Come on, Faith. Do your thing.
Come on, baby.
Don't cop out on me.
A lot of like just little bits and bobs came from this record, and the artwork as well is just phenomenal. So I saw it in the store and I had to pick it out because it's just beautiful, and I haven't seen it anywhere else. But yeah, this is just an extension of me being a big Madlib fan. I found my friend Budgie's record in there. I was there while he made a lot of this, and it's a really solid record, more important than most people think, because this is the record that Kanye took the sample for Father Stretch My Hands. There's a record on here called The Only Power, You're the Only Power, and I think Budgie gave Kanye quite a few samples. But yeah, my favorite song on here is called Budgie's Groove. When it comes to like really digging and finding samples in the middle of nowhere, Budgie's your man, so big up Budgie, and he lives out here now, so. Gang of Four, amazing, band from Leeds.
You know the changes do you good. You know the changes do you good.
Amazing. When I heard this, it just lifted me whenever I hear it. Great band from the UK, influenced a lot of shit. I think they influenced people like Block Party, who then influenced me, so. The cycle continues. Stereolab. There's a song on here called Breakage, and it's one of the most beautiful things I have ever heard in my life. And when I heard it, and when I still hear it, it makes me tingle.
Run around and round.
French group. I think there's quite a few of them in this group. Yeah, amazing. And I love the artwork too. It's beautiful. Then lastly, I'm gonna finish with Salt just because it's a bit more current. I think this record came out in 2020.
I will always care in wildfires.
It's just some of the most amazing music being made today by a producer called Inflow, who's probably the best British producer there is right now. It's a producer and his I'm not sure, and his partner, and she sings and he produces it. And her name's Cleo, so she just put a record out herself. But together, they're so, they put out like 2 records a year. It's very like not to the drum of whatever the industry is doing. You know what I mean? It's very outside of whatever the industry is doing, and it's music for the sake of making music. Like, you know what I mean? You can tell that like it's coming from such a pure place, and the big messages behind. You can even see in the cover like there's a lot of messaging in it. So you have to go and listen to it and find out what that messaging is. But yeah, my favorite track on here is, there's a lot actually. There's a song called Wildfires, which is just psh, but there's an instrumental that finishes the record called Pray Up, Stay Up, and I wrote a freestyle to it actually.
Pray up, stay up, pray up.
So, big up, UK, London. That's me. There's some other shit, but I can't be asked.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We really appreciate you talking with us today.
Thank you for having me. Amoeba, it's legendary, this series, so I'm glad. I'm happy to be a part of it.
Hand up.